Let's be real, Jaguar is in a sticky situation right now. Between releasing a commercial that won nobody over and showing off a brand new prototype that's got mixed results, the future of Jaguar is questionable. But do they have a greater plan with this, or are they planning their own demise? What's up? Welcome back to the Metalhead Car Show. So on December 2nd in Miami, Jaguar showed off an all-new concept car called the Type 00, made to show off the future of Jaguar and the copy-nothing mentality that they're taking. The Type 00 is this long wheelbase coupe EV that's ultra luxurious and looks like nothing else. Now we're gonna go right back to the beginning of all this. About a week ago, Jaguar released their brand new commercial showing off the rebranding of Jaguar, and the reactions were poor. Supposed to a car commercial, this came off as a very artsy, high-budget student film that didn't really show exactly what Jaguar was pushing for. But what we did know was on December 2nd in Miami, Jaguar was going to be showing off something new. And that new thing was the Type 00. As I said earlier, it's a long wheelbase coupe EV that's to be ultra luxurious and makes no sense. Now, I will agree, this is a bold move as a vehicle to show off the future of Jaguar, but here's the issues. Jaguar does not sell many cars. Like as context, in 2023, Jaguar sold 64,241 cars. As with its sister brand Range Rover, sold 420,000 cars globally. Jaguar isn't getting the sales they need, and frankly, if they don't change, they won't last that much longer. Jaguar does need a big rebrand to get itself into the younger audience. Now, some other companies that have had this issue is both Gibson and Harley Davidson. They're companies that branded themselves towards someone's dad, and it's a product for that dad. So when the dad bought it, they had it. But then you get to a bit of a problem. See, with Harley Davidson, they actually accused the millennials of killing Harley Davidson because none of them were into Harley Davidson. In reality, Harley Davidson never actually geared themselves to a younger audience, so their audience either bought Harleys or aged themselves out of riding motorcycles altogether, so when they were done, they were getting no sales. They struggled to keep up with the times. Gibson got themselves into a similar situation. You had brands like Ibanez that have geared themselves towards everybody so everyone can go use an Ibanez. But you got to the point where Gibson's presence at like the NAMM show in Vegas was so minimal and nobody cared. Gibson, which is a legacy brand, is slowly becoming a relic of the past. And Jaguar can't really put themselves in that situation. The audience they've been shooting for either has one, never wanted one, or isn't driving anymore. So long term, they're in trouble. And when I talked about their sales earlier, saying that Jaguar sold a bit over 64,000 cars, here's a little context. In 2023, Mercedes sold 2,044,100 cars. BMW sold 2,555,341 cars. Lexus sold 824,258 cars. Audi sold 1,895,270 cars. And Tesla sold 1,808,581 cars. That's what Jaguar is shooting for. That's their competition, and their competition's killing them right now. Like, they're not even in the same league at this point. Now, granted, Jaguar is not the worst selling company ever. They do have some brands beat. In 2023, Maserati only sold 27,166 cars, Aston Martin sold 6,600 cars, Rolls-Royce sold 6,038 cars, Lotus sold 6,970 cars, and Bentley sold 13,800 cars in 2023. Again, Jaguar is not the worst company ever, but we have a staff of 42,000 people. You have bills to pay. You need to be pushing cars. Like BMW has a staff of 154,000 people right now. They sold 2.5 million cars last year. So you look at Jaguar, sure, they might have a third of the staff, but they did not do a third of the sales. They are not making money right now. So the best thing to do would be bring out a car that everyone wants, and right now the best-selling car is an SUV or a crossover. So bringing out a EV, which EVs long-term are going to be what a lot of manufacturers are doing, despite a lot of companies have bailed out of them long-term, but it's what a lot of companies are going to be doing. It's still a two-door, long wheelbase, and it's super luxurious. Meaning, this thing is going to be expensive. And having that as currently your only car, you're dooming yourself. You're almost planning on this to fail, especially considering the fact that Jaguar will be ceasing sales for 2025 in preparation of this new makeover of Jaguar. They have an entire year of very little sales actually coming in. That means 2025, all they're going to be selling is old stock just to get it gone. So there's a very likely chance in 2025, anyone who wants a Jaguar might actually go look at other manufacturers to see what they got, and maybe move on from the brand altogether. Or we will all just sort of forget about Jaguar over the next year, which makes me bring up the question, was this planned to fail? Honestly, no. See, they could go do the commercial, they could show off a prototype that doesn't work, but the fact they have a mule car going around means this is actually legit. So it brings up the question of, what's actually their plan? If they wanted to work, they'd go bring out a new lineup that is fail-proof. Personally, my fail-proof Jaguar lineup, go get a large platform from Range Rover, build it into a large Jaguar, and make it something different. Price it a bit higher than the Range Rover, but also make it more than the Range Rover. Go get the smallest Range Rover you can, make it cheaper than the Range Rover, make it full EV, and push that one hard. Go team up with Dodge and Stellantis for their new 4-door Charger hatchback. Use that platform so they have a 4-door hatchback vehicle, which could be the new XJ, which 4-door hatchbacks is the best-selling type of sedan there is. And then go team up with Aston Martin for either a Vantage or a DB12 platform and make a new XK. All new cars, legacy names on platforms that are already proven. It would cut down a lot of the cost of actually making a brand new car. I would say add something in like the XC75 or like a brand new XJ220, but we know Jag's not going to do it. But instead they're making this. So the question is, what is this for? Well, frankly, I think Jaguar might actually be shooting for a completely different ballpark from what they have been. You see, earlier I talked about the quantity of employees that Jaguar has, and currently globally it's 42,000. But when you look at brands like Aston Martin has 2,740 employees, Lamborghini has 2,200 employees, and Ferrari has 5,000 employees globally. And yes, they make substantially less vehicles than Jaguar, but that might be the future. What if Jaguar completely abandons the idea of mass production and goes for that low quantity, high dollar, potentially being bigger competition for Aston Martin, for Rolls-Royce, for Bentley, for Maybach, for Lagonda? Yes, technically Aston Martin, I know. This would cause a lot of layoffs. A lot of people would lose their jobs over this if they went for low production, high dollar. But what they have been doing isn't working. What they are planning on bringing out isn't the best-selling form of vehicle ever built, and they want to do a full rebrand into something new. So my honest-to-God opinion is, long-term, Jaguars be doing way less cars for a lot more money with a much, much smaller staff. Will that cause problems? Yes, it will. Could that save the brand? Just maybe. At that point, you could have all like the stones in the interior and the mood-changing rocks and the brass finishes. You could still have all of that. It's just the question is, will people buy into it? That's my take on what's kind of going on, but I want to know, what do you think? What do you think the direction of Jaguar is going to be long-term? And do you think they're going to work out long-term? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, subscribe, enjoy what you've seen. I tend to post a couple times a week, and I'll see you later.